driving. Hope comes and stops us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Hello. I didn't fix the lighting situation. It's all right. It's all right. Not doing much sharing on this one. Not doing much sharing. We're sharing on the topic of disease. And sometimes the image that it shows, I can taste you on my lips and smell you in my clothes. Okay. Is that you, Ingrid? You're like, I can only stay for a few minutes. I'm making dinner. I'm hungry. I'm a hungry guy. Ingrid, what are you making for dinner? So I've been seeing some of these videos popping up on, you don't mess with Gen X. Don't be afraid of these people. Let me tell you something. Lasagna. I'm very, very picky about my lasagna. People are like, you want Italian food? Let's go to Fazoli's. What? Fazoli's? No. No, it's got to be Olive Garden or better, at least, or homemade. All right, you can screw lasagna up. So, but so I think people might be a little confused. See, the thing is, our parents weren't around. Okay, we were the first generation where both parents had to work if you wanted to survive. Okay, we were the first generation in that. Okay, we didn't have things like daycare. Oh, Kroger brand, 2.5. So it's in there for 2.5 hours. We have Kroger out here. It's King Supers, but it's the same company. So, but I just think it's funny that Gen Xers think that we tend to think that we're badass, and grab me a couple of Gen Xers, I'll make them cry. They ain't nothing. I'm a person that came from Gen X, but they didn't have to live the life that I lived. So don't be scared of Gen Xers. I wouldn't fuck around with them too much either. The thing is the age that we came from, you talk shit, you got your ass beat. That's how it worked. You didn't say nothing to anybody else, or you wouldn't say to somebody else's face. Anyway, that's way out topic. Is happiness the goal? I'm just saying, don't be afraid of the Gen Xers, that's all. Welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Dion. I'm your host. If you're here, please say hello. You're not required to. I keep things anonymous. It's not like I can force you to either. So I have plenty of people that listen. All that they just listen, and that's okay too. That's okay too. It is your recovery, right? And so you get to make those decisions for your own recovery, and that's one of the blessings of the program. It's a grace that we get, right? Because when it comes to alcohol, you have options now. I was just talking about this with my sponsee. See, every now and again, I'll see something on TV, and I'll be like, "Ooh, a beer sounds good." Doesn't sit there for very long, right? Yeah, I know that. Well, the thing is I kind of feel like when we do the generation stuff, that we're dividing ourselves. Oh, well, you're you're a millennial, so you're going to act this way. And I don't think that's cool. I don't think that's cool. I'm going to tell you now, I don't have that many Gen X friends. Most of my friends are actually younger. Why? Because they talk about their feelings, and that's what I do here. I talk about my feelings all the fucking time. So that's how I scare off most Gen Xers. Let's talk about my feelings. Okay. So for a long time, I thought that happiness was what I was supposed to be. Well, I just want you to be happy. I just want you to be happy. Okay, well, I am happy. All right. I'm happy enough. I just know the old, yeah. Well, so I don't like division. I just don't. It creates name calling. It puts people aside. It's icky, and I'm not big on it. I do have a reading for this. I had to dig for a topic. I didn't know what I was going to talk about. I just feel like I've almost covered everything in the frickin' world. All right. In a letter to a friend, this is out of a date at time, September 17th. In a letter to a friend, AA co-founder Bill W. wrote, "I don't think happiness or unhappiness is the point." The mother take you to a different video. Was it at least mine? It better. So, well, I'm glad you made it, Amber. Hi, Amber. You just missed my whole Gen X thing. Wasn't that big of a deal. All I was saying is Gen Xers think they're badass, but I'm going to tell you what it is, okay, how often in here do I talk about being aloof is dangerous? Being aloof, okay, unthinking, that's Gen X. We don't talk about our problems. We weren't taught how. We don't talk about our feelings. We were told not to talk about them. We were told that if you talk about your feelings, you're a weak fuck. And you didn't want to be weak. You show weakness out on the playground in the 70s, you're going to get your ass beat. It was survival of the fittest, man. Okay. Anyway, is happiness or unhappiness the point? 79, I think so. Yeah, I would think so. How do we meet problems we face? How do we best learn from them and transmit what we have learned from others if they would receive the knowledge? We talked about this a little bit earlier about, that sometimes we need to speak up and say something, but we're going to be thinking of everybody. Just like we were talking about with the generations, how it creates division. Well, it is not our job to run around and create that division. Well, let's remember that there's a difference between division and boundaries. There's a big difference. Division means dividing people up. I'm not going to go to this meeting anymore because that person's there. That's division. Okay? In a sense, in a general sense. Okay? Don't get specific on that one. I already know. In my view, we of this world are pupils in the great school of life. It is intended that we grow and that we try and help our fellow travelers to grow in the kind of love that makes no demand. So, when I can live my life a little bit more free, when I can live my life without judging other people, then I'm going to get certain things out of that. See, when I start to judge other people, it's negative in and of itself, right? That is negative. And anytime we bring something negative in, it's going to have an impact. Anytime we bring something positive in, it's going to have an impact. So happiness or unhappiness isn't necessarily the answer. Okay? Are we trying to be happy? I would tell some of my therapists, I just want to be happy. I just want to be happy. That's all. Hi, Patricia. Good evening. And, I never really got an answer out of that. I don't think they really knew what they were talking about. But I get it now. I understand happiness better. Am I happy right now? I'm happy about some things. I'm unhappy about other things. Balance. I would rather have serenity than happiness. I would. Because even when I'm happy, I can still sometimes feel like the other shoe's going to drop. But when I'm serene and I'm balanced, I don't feel that. When I'm like that, what happens is the world becomes perfect. It's perfect the way it is. Okay? Is the world perfect? No. Okay? But do you see where I'm going with that? Okay? And where does serenity come from? Okay. Can't answer that question for you. I know where it comes from for me. Okay? Because of my love languages. I know my love languages and I treat myself that way. Okay? I help other people. I give away everything that I have every day. I'm bankrupt. What does that mean? It means I have nothing left but the sunlight of the spirit. Acceptance is a great way to go. Yeah. Acceptance is a great way to go. It's God's world, not mine. Are you saying God's world is fucked up? I'm not. Actually, I just did like 45 seconds ago, didn't I? Yeah. It's tough to work through this stuff. So, and I can understand why we could be afraid talking because, gosh, people just love to correct you. That's one thing I quit doing. If I know what somebody else is talking about, I do not correct them. Okay? If they said a word and I knew what they were talking, they'll always come back and correct it. But if you correct it, you just sound like a jerk. Okay? Actually, let me rephrase that. When I do it, I feel like a jerk. So I quit doing it. I don't like when people do it to me because they're trying to talk. I'll interrupt them, tell them they had a word wrong. Where am I actually in this conversation or am I being judgmental? Yeah, the meeting in the pocket. Yeah. I just found a meeting in a pocket, little blue book. Yeah. We're going to be printed in that here in a few months. All right. In my view of this world of pupils in a great school of life, it is intended that we try to grow and that we try to help our fellow travelers to grow in the kind. I know I already read this, but I needed to know it. The kind of love that makes no demands. Aw. Keep it. Keep it. That's cool. Thank you for sharing that. made my heart happy. Made me think of my grandma. Your grandparents love the heck out of you. Grandparents are different, man. Anyway, I'm gonna start crying. So when pain comes, we're expected to learn from it willingly and to help others learn. Yeah. So what I do is I take the pain that I go through and I pass it on so that you don't have to go through it too. Why do you think I run my mouth so much? Right? I do. I run my mouth a lot. I know that. Okay. Give me 3 minutes in a meeting, I'll blow your fucking socks off. So much fun. I love it. Right? I say a lot in 3 minutes. I'm 3 o'clock meeting, God took me over, man. God took over. I know I talked on the third step. Right? But I love it. I love it when God takes over. I really do. It's weird. Okay? But it fills me up. Okay? Now, I know how to love with no demands. I've learned this. Okay? That does not mean I demand that other people get to do it that way. Right? A little bit of detachment there. All right? I was just, garlic bread. We call it Texas toast too. But we're in Colorado. So love you, hon. Have a good night. I'm going through this a lot with my daughter. We've been talking a lot lately, which is really nice. And we're gonna meet a couple weeks anyway. It's just been nice because we're cracking jokes, and she's a lot like me, and it was nice. I miss my daughter a lot. I worked very, very hard at that relationship. Yeah. And it's working. It's working. Remember 6 months ago, she wasn't even talking to me. All right. Okay. And she's learning from me, right? Because what I did is I told her, I'm like, I love you. I mean, I don't know how else to describe it. So I'm going to give you the chance to get all this off your chest. I'm glad that she took it. Okay. My son decided not to take that, and our relationship is different. My daughter talks to me about things. My son does not. And that's his choice. I'm not putting, they're doing good. They don't always need me. So when happiness comes, we accept it as a gift. That's what it is. Happiness is the gift for a job well done. Happiness just doesn't come because you're here. Happiness is a byproduct of something else. It's the dividends that are left over from a job well done. What else is in there? Gratitude is in there. Hope, joy, freedom. These are all the things that exist in that realm. Okay? When we decide to love unconditionally. Okay? Now, let's take a quick look at love and like. I can love somebody. In fact, I am more willing to love somebody than I am to like them. As an alcoholic, I cannot live with these things. Okay? If I love somebody, here's a requirement for me. I got to like them too. This is for me. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean I have to let them into my life. It doesn't mean I have to put up with things. I have boundaries. But what I do is I look for something in them that I appreciate. Then I can love them unconditionally. Because if I don't like them, then I have these little tickers in the back of my mind that says, yeah, but they did this, this, and that. And that's not unconditional loving for me. Talk about me, okay? So, in order for me to love somebody, I need to like them too. Okay? As arrested alcoholics, we must take this extra step or it goes into resentment. It'll go into the resentment category. That's where it'll fall. It'll fall in the bad realm. You're not that person anymore. Right? Stigma. Help us fight stigma. No, you've already lost. Anytime it's fight something, you've lost. Okay? What do we do here? Do I hate alcohol? Do I fight alcohol companies? No. I don't care about alcohol. Okay? Ooh. Thank you, Patricia. Very well said. Very well said. Much better than the way I put it, I think. Love unconditionally demands love, even when love is painful. It can hurt sometimes. You bet. I was just talking about my daughter, how much I love her. I started to well up. It hurts. It hurts. Sure, it still hurts. I know what I did, but I will bring it up if I need to. If it means it's going to save somebody's life, if it means that it is going to help somebody else, I will bring up my past mistakes. You bet. I'll bring them right to the forefront. Yeah. No, it's not easy. You're right. It's not easy. Okay. It wasn't easy for me. It was a fine art. Practice, 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 practice. Okay. And I'm only like 60, 70% of the way there. I'm still working on it feverishly. So, can I accept both pain and happiness willingly? Today I pray, God, please help me remember that everything that happens to me is worth, including the misery of addiction. May I believe that even my dependence was part of God's grand scheme to bring me to him. I absolutely believe that. That's why I feel like we're chosen. Okay. Before I was even born, God said, you. He did it to you too. Every single person here, every single alcoholic, you were picked, literally. This is how I feel about it. Okay. But if my experience is fact, then this is fact. And I say it quite often that I am grateful to be an alcoholic because I can't think of any other reason I would have sought God. And thank you, somebody came along and backed me up on it. May I believe that even my dependence was a part of God's grand scheme to bring me to him, to them, to her, to it, whatever you want to call it. Today I'll remember all that I am is all that has happened to me. All right? Just like Popeye says, I am what I am. And that's all that I am. Thank you, guys. Gals. I should actually just say thank you, ladies, because it's always ladies here. So you came back to say bye again. I love you. All right. Thank you, everybody, for being here. I hope you enjoy your Texas toast. I love you. Peace out and have a day.